Hey everybody. It's New Year's Eve. I had it off the other day. I did like three report. I don't even know how many days. Anyway, I was saying Happy New Year's and it was New Year's Eve and I was wrong. So tonight is New Year's and yeah, I wanted to talk to you guys about a few things because there's a common theme in my personal readings, which I do, okay? But I'm going to stop taking bookings to Thursday. And thank you everybody for all of their support, all of the subscriptions I've got. I started in late June, and this has been absolutely incredible. How much support that I've received in love and everything else, all the donations, all the everything. It's just meant the absolute world to me. Give me just a minute, cowboy. Hey, they're fighting over that little Anyway, they're fighting over a toy, even though they have a giant mask. One of the common themes in my readings is money. And I want to start talking to people about how to make it. Yeah, because I know it's going to sound crazy to a lot of people. Like manifestations don't work. That's silly. It's crazy talk, right? Okay, well, it's not, right? Okay. There's a lot of different programs that you run in your head at all times, okay? And my phone will not stop. And he's out. He's moving shit constantly. He's been breaking rocks all day. That's why the tank is so cloudy. That's a new thing that he broke off of some other rock and he's moving shit all over the place. The amount of change you can like manipulate in your life, your own brain, is to recognize the programming that you have in your brain. And generally, what that is it comes with a lot of scarcity tactics that people around you have kind of implemented on you since you were little, right? Well, no, honey, we can't afford that. Or I love that. I want McDonald's. I want McDonald's when you're a kid. You have McDonald's cash. It's always set in some kind of limited mindset, right? I have friends and family and everything else. They're always saying things like when they go to a store, "Oh, I could never afford that." Okay, that's like the smaller version, right? Or I could never afford that car. Oh, they must make a lot of money. Okay, that is all lack mindset, all of it. Now, what's going to be crazy about what I'm going to talk about tonight is because how fast you can change this. Okay, he's breaking stuff right now. I know you can't hear it because in the last reading, when I did a tarot reading, you can't hear it. You'll see just clouds of. He's breaking everything in there. He just wants to rearrange, I guess, for the new year. There's something about having that mindset to where you can't seem to afford anything, or I mean, oh God, the bills are coming. Oh, it's almost like society is designed for that kind of thing because they need people to keep pushing the buttons, right? Okay. Well, how you can change that is never say you can't afford anything. And now, when I was in PetSmart buying the amount of food that I have to buy for my dogs, I have to, or animals in general, there was a guy that walked up to me and I said, and I just felt the need to say, "What do you want to do with your life?" And he was around, and he was in his mid 40s, okay? And he said, "I really want to start a food truck, but I can't afford it." All right. This is the type of mindset that we're talking about, right? He's always in a position where he's got a couple of kids, he's got a wife, he's just trying to make ends meet, right? Well, I said, "Well, how come you can't afford it?" Well, he says, "I work here, full time, and then I have a part-time job too, and raising the kids with all their hobbies and everything, it's difficult to do." And I completely understand that. I'm not above anyone. I'm just saying I've been an observer in for a very long time. So I'm just kind of watching, right? I'm watching how things go, and I've learned a lot about this. So I started saying, "Well, how much does a case of lettuce cost?" Because he said he wanted to do, I've told this story before. He wanted to do a Jamaican food truck. Okay. And I said, "That sounds yummy." And he says, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, how much are things? Go ahead." And he had no idea. Mm-mm. He had no idea what the plan even was. And that's a lot of times that's awesome. Well, you just say you're going to do it and you just know you are, like you know your own name. And a lot of people don't struggle with finances, but a lot of people do. And the reason I'm saying this is because they come up together. And I always say that the emotions and finances always kind of come up together. If your emotions are in the toilet, so are your finances. It's the same thing. Okay. So, and I'm not saying be happy all the time and be like, "Oh, yellow brick road." But anyway, going back to this guy. So I said, "Well, have you ever looked at a food truck?" He's like, "No, I just know they're expensive." Okay. Well, what I want you to do is I want you to understand how much things cost. I want you to make a more detailed plan. Not just I want to start a food truck. I want to, it's going to be red. I mean, I want you to get real specific here. And then I want you to write it down. I want you to start researching. Go to Cisco. Go to places that, are food, like where you get your food from for things like that. Or, I mean, because you can't go to the grocery store and pay retail if you're doing something on that scale. So I said, you need to understand how much sour cream costs in bulk, right? And not, it's not Costco purchases either. Like lettuce, tomato. What do you need? What are your ingredients that you're going to need? And he said, well, that's a good idea. I said, then what I want you to do is I want you to get with your wife and I want you to go start shopping food trucks. Literally go out to them and look at them. And I never want you to say, I can't afford it. I want you to find something wrong with what it is. Where I want you to say, well, I mean, I like it, but I could buy it right now, but I don't like that it's red. I really want a silver one, and then leave, right? So you put yourself in the mind, and I always say it all the time. You need to believe it to see it, not the other way around. Everybody always says that, especially people in scarcity mindset and lack mindset and all that. They're always saying things like, "Well, I mean, you have to work." My mother is a perfect example of this. No. You have to work in a job. You have to have this career, and you have to work 30 years to get a pension. Then you get your 401k, and then you get this age. You see what I'm saying? It's all of these steps these people have created that have been implemented on you. Now, what I want you to do, he's very distracting because he's busting everything right now. And I don't even know where he is. I want you to start understanding things on another level. Okay. I want you to start understanding that you are a divine human being. Okay. And I want you to start understanding that your dreams, you are not here just to push a button and then die. Okay. Struggle with a couple highlights in between with your kids and the things. And then you just go, right? From sickness or anything else. Because the other thing with that is all of this like mindset and the struggle, whatever, creates sickness. You can create sickness and you can also heal it with your mind. And I know that sounds crazy to a lot of people, but it's absolutely true. This guy did all of what I said to do. And then he kind of added on to it because once you get the people, once you first start in the lawnmower, that's not mowing the grass, right? You just start it. Stuff starts like circulating. You start thinking about things differently. Now there's several people that talk about things like this online and everywhere else, right? But from my experiences, people will start this journey, okay, and they'll start it and then it gets hard, right? Because they don't start seeing results right away and everything else. But I'm saying believe things to a point where nothing can take you off track. And when I'm around people now and they're like, oh my God, I wish I could afford that. I immediately distance myself away from that person or I try to help them. It's one or the other. If they're completely unreachable and they have created this concrete dome of like completely limited ways of thinking around them and you're not going to be able to permeate that, and why would you? Why you want people that are going to be receptive to this type of information because that can change their life. Anyway, I ran into that guy about 6 to 8 months later. I can't even remember. It was a while, right? Guess what he had? Oh, he had a food truck. And he didn't win the lottery and he didn't do anything. He just started looking at things differently. He started looking at himself differently. And so did his wife. And he was teaching his kids the same thing. I mean, it's this thing. What we need to create a generation of these type people that are not always in this struggle like mindset, all the things. And that comes with the way you look at money and the way you look. And we're going to do another one on emotions and love because it kind of works the same way. And everybody's kind of, it's always such a interesting thing to talk to somebody that has lived in this life. And I do a lot of personal readings, and I'm telling you right now, this is a common theme with people that have always struggled in their life. And they always get off the phone with me and they're like, what? Because you never say you're going to try to do something. Because as soon as you say you try to do it, I don't believe you. And you can ask any of my personal readings. Any of my personal readings can comment in the comments here. I will jump you for that. I'll be like, oh, no. Don't even tell me. Don't tell me you're going to try to do something. Because I already know that you're kind of giving yourself a back door, right? Well, I'm going to try. And if it doesn't work, no harm lost. No. You have to commit to this to make a difference in your life, in your kid's life, in your family's life, whatever is important to you. Even if you just have a cat. You need to be able to make a difference in your life where you feel better about you. Because money is just like, it's an energy, right? And I say that a lot, but I mean, people are like, no, it's not. It's hard to get. No, it isn't. It is a very attainable thing, okay? And I want you to start getting in track because this guy now has a food truck. He is very successful. And of course, bring the good with the bad, right? We always talk about that, right? You always talk about, you can't just go running for the, running for the light and then not take it with you, right? Like when I bought my boat. I'm going to tell you that story. Only a few people know that story, but I bought a 36-foot Sea Ray. It's a 2-bedroom kitchen bath. Before that, I had gone through a nasty divorce. I was taken for everything. I left with my kid, my dog, and my truck, and most of my tools. Okay, because I was in construction for a very long time. And I was like, and I was told I was a leech, or I was a this, and I was struggling. Meanwhile, I'm remodeling houses for this person and all things. Anyway, when I left, I felt about half an inch tall. Okay, because I mean, I had to like recover all these things and everything, but that didn't last long because as soon as that all happened, construction contracts started flying in. I started making tons of money. I paid off my truck. I did all things. And I was like, I want a boat. And then I said, wait a second. I'm going to change the way I look at that. I don't want a boat. I already have a boat. That's what I did. It's going to have 2 bedrooms. I'm going to love it, but it's going to have carpet, and somebody's going to spill wine on it. And few of my personal readings know the story. And somebody's going to spill something on it, Kool-Aid, wine, something else, and that's going to suck, right? And gas is going to gas is going to suck, and all these things are going to, but it's good too, because I mean, I have what I want, and I went ahead and celebrated having this boat. I took my daughter out, and we had this huge like celebration at her favorite sushi spot, because she's a sushi crazy person. So am I. And we went and we celebrated. She's like, "What are we celebrating?" And I'm like, "We're celebrating the boat." She's like, "We don't have the boat." I'm like, "No, no, no. That's not how you do it. You have to already know that it's there, and then it shows up." Well, I have another boat. It's a smaller like little bass boat thing, because I love to fish and be on the water and in general. And I was shopping for new seats for that boat, and that boat showed up, and I was like, "What?" And he had just done a price drop on it. And I had more than enough to buy it at the time because of all the construction jobs that were like flying into me. It was like it opened up this whole nother world, right? And so I was like, I called him, or I'm sorry, I sent him a thing, right? And I was like, is this still available, right? I mean, what's going on with this boat? Like, I need to see more pictures. I need to, and he emailed me back, and he said, yeah, it's available. I'm like, where are you at? I mean, I'll be there immediately. And that was at night. And the next morning, I got up and I took off and I bought the damn boat. Because I already knew I had it. I celebrated it. I already looked at research. I researched carpet cleaning places, and I looked up what's gas going to be and the projection for the next thing at a marina. I looked up everything, insurance for a boat that I hadn't even seen yet, because I just knew I was going to get it. I already knew it. It wasn't I was going to get it. I already had it in my mind. And this is what we're talking about, like that guy with the food truck. It was always out of reach. It was always, oh, I sure wish I could have that. I've been praying for that. I've been praying to win the lottery. I mean, yeah, it's things like that, right? Because money is just like an energy, like I was talking about, but it's also freedom. Money affords a lot of freedoms in life, and that is what the most things I'm more interested in. The freedom to go do whatever I want to do. And this is the part where I'm going to try to help everybody get into this position, because for the new year, I thought this was kind of perfect to do this now, because I want people to understand that the limited mind and what they've kind of like always lived, or what they were programmed to believe how life works. And no, 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 I have to go do this. And my aunt is she's worked these crazy horrible warehouse jobs her whole life. She doesn't do that anymore, but she's had to have feet surgery and hand surgery and all the things, right, to kind of just make it work for her kids, because my parents, my mother's sides, were raised terribly, right? It was a lot of abuse and a lot of poor, very poor, but then my dad's side of the family all had like private jets, and so I had a very interesting education on both sides of the fence, right? So I went right in the middle, right? But here's what I loved. I loved hanging out with the more humble group of people, because they generally are. Over here, I mean, we had some kind of dicks, right? We had some dicks in the pot over here. But I mean, most of them were kind of pretty good people. My grandfather was an amazing person. But I mean, like I said, over here, you see what I'm saying? So I rode this line of looking at both things, and it started getting my wheels turning pretty quick, right? And I'm like, well, how come? And a lot of it was circumstance, but not really. That's what I used to think when I was a kid. All of it was mindset, all of it. Because this side of the family over here in the, trailer parks, or the campers, or barely affording a house, and, things like that. There was a couple of them that weren't like that, but most of them were. And then over here, everybody's, I mean, money's, money's just whatever, that's right. And I started realizing when I was very young, what could be the difference here? And when I got a little older, I started realizing it was programming. Because somebody's daddy, grew up on 10 acres, and they plowed and they hunted and they had to go. And then over here, there was like, no, it's fine, it's done. And they worked very hard over here too. They both worked hard, but for different results. Does that make any sense? And what I'm trying to get people to understand is kind of come to the middle here, right? We don't have to go and live in like complete squalor, and we don't have to have private jets. You can be comfortable with a lot of freedom if you change the way you look at things, especially financial. And again, that will change your emotions. Absolutely. It doesn't have a choice, right? You have to continue to go at something, and not with some kind of intensity. Just know that it's there. Have the peace, right? Give yourself, write down very, very specifically what you want your life to look like. I mean, well, first of all, write down what specifically how your life is now. Okay. And then I want you to write down very specifically, write down to the kind of butter you want in the refrigerator, what you want your life to be. Okay. And then I want you to burn this one. All right. Okay. Because it's the new year. We're going to start something new. Okay. And I'm challenging you to do this and not give up on yourself. Because if you give up on this, you're giving up on yourself, because you can get good results very quickly with this. It's going to start small, or it could be huge. I'm not going to limit you in any way. It could be either one. But this side over here needs to be completely burned. This side over here is what needs to be taped to the refrigerator or in your bathroom closet, or I mean, someplace where you could see it all the time. Okay. And a lot of this comes from trauma that you've had to deal with, like childhood abuse, and relationship abuse, which generally comes and from the childhood abandonment and codependency, and they kind of just perpetuate up into adult relationships. Well, a lot of that has to do with the way you look at everything. So I want, again, write down the both things, okay? And then I want you to start focusing right here, and then I want you to burn this and say goodbye. And I know this is going to sound cliche, but say goodbye to the old you, because this can really, really have a big factor in your life. And I know I'm all over the place right now because I have a lot to say. I might do these more often, but I've been thinking about doing this for months. And somebody in my personals told me I said I should absolutely do it. Because the manifestation part of it, a lot of people get that lost in translation, where I'm going to wish for it and hope for it and pray for it, and God listens to me. And absolutely, that's true. But it also depends a lot on about how you interpret how things happening around you, right? So this is very, very important to kind of implement these things and not give up, because you're giving up on yourself, because things can change quite quickly. Again, just changing the way you look at things. He is still, I mean, I don't know what he's doing. The guy with the food truck, look at that. Me with the boat. I have lots of stories like that, right? Because we're going to stop limiting ourselves to this little box, okay? Where it has viewing windows, we can look out. We have the illusion of being together and free and all the things, but we're not, right? So when you start cracking that mind open and understanding the paradigm of your mind and the programming that you run every single day. Oh, I'm not stopping there. It's 2 cents more for gas. What is that saying? And our society is completely designed to keep you in that limited mindset. Be caller 12. Be caller 12 and you'll win $100. That'll help, right? Okay. Start paying attention to shit like that. My mother calls me sometimes or texts me. Oh my God, Kalamata olives are buy one, get one free. Hurry. It's like that. Okay. It's the mindset. And I'm like, I don't even need Kalamata olives. I did at the time because I brought a big salad to Christmas, but you see what I'm saying? It's like this lack mindset runs the show in society. We need people to break out of this, to be able to identify it and be able to help other people change this, because it absolutely can, and it will. You can't walk into anywhere ever again from now on and say, oh, I can't afford that. You have to say, oh, I don't really want that. It changes that one thing, that one word, I can't afford it, to I don't want it. It changes the whole thing in your mind, right? Even if you can't afford it, don't ever tell yourself that. Just say, like that right there. That crystal, I don't know, was like $6. Okay. No. Did I want it? Yes. Could I afford it? Yes. If I didn't afford it, would I say I couldn't afford it? No. I'd be like, I don't like it. It's orange and it's a little too slick and glossy, and I don't like that. Not okay. Do you see what I'm saying here? It's a difference. And also change your mindset about what you get to do, because you don't have to be here. Everybody knows that, right? But you are. So let's make the best of that. So start changing it. A lot of people talk about that too. change that mindset. Look what I get to do today. When I stubbed my toe the other morning, I stubbed it bad. I thought my pinky got ripped off my foot. I was standing there and I was like, oh my God, I can't even look down. It's gone. I already know it's gone. It's gone. And I was like sitting there just looking at the ceiling and I was like, okay, do I go to the hospital or urgent care? Do I find the toad? My cat's probably already taken it and eaten it. And I started going through all these things. I was cracking my, and then I got up and I was standing there and I started walking and I started, okay, I'm going to look down. It's nothing seems wet or anything. It's still there. It's just all kind of mangly. It's just bruised. It's not, no, there's no broken skin or anything. But again, in my mind, I have created this entire scene, right? And then I was walking in the hallway or limping down the hallway. And I was like, well, I'm glad I got to, I'm glad I get to stub my toe today. I changed it immediately. I wasn't going to let that set the tone for my day. Oh God. And you hear this all the time. Oh God, I stubbed my toe this morning and then I woke up and my toast was burnt. I didn't have enough time to make more toast and my coffee, I spilled my coffee and then, it just keeps going, right? And your whole day is going to be like that until you get to bed and you're like, oh, this day sucked. It doesn't have to. Because you got to do a lot of shit, right? You got to drive a car. You got to make coffee. Lots of people can't even do these things. So I want you to start being very, very appreciative to what you can do and what you can have, even if you're sick, even if you have something going on that you feel is insurmountable for you. I want you to start understanding that you don't have to continue to live the way you've been living, and it can change drastically with just tweaking a few words in your head. Yeah. I get to do this. Oh my God. Right now my whole tank is pissed off. And I get to do a water change. Woohoo! It's a process, right? But I'm gonna do that in just a minute because I want to start the new year with everything. This is what I'm talking about, right? I get to go make my dog's food, which I do love doing because it's part of like my cooking thing. I don't cook anything, but I like chopping things up. But I get to do that. In the morning, I get to go get gas. Yeah, and I get to do. Hey, it's all of it, right? Yeah, change every little thing. Not every little thing, because sometimes things suck. But it's the intensity of which you stay there creates your life. My daughter will have a bad day, and I'll say, "What?" Like I'm like, "What? What? What do we say?" And she's like, "I'm not going to stay here." And it's not dismissing it; it's processing it in a healthy way, and then keeping it moving, right? Because I always say it, she knows it now. And she's having a bad day. I'm like, "Okay, well." And she's like, I know I'm not staying here. And now but the other thing with that is she gets to do these things. She gets to have a bad day. Lots of people don't. I've lost a lot of people in my life. I've lost a lot in my life. And these people don't get to do anything anymore, right? Here. They probably off someplace else. But you see what I'm saying, right? We get to be here. We get to do these things. And even if your day or life sucks right now, bro, that's loud. And it's so cloud. Anyway, the other thing that my daughter has always, 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 always said when she was little, when she was real little, she would run up to me and go, I can't do it. And I'd always say, yet. And she was like, what? I was like, yet. Never say I can't do something or I can't afford it. No thing. Always put a yet with it. My daughter has always been raised like that. I can't climb the monkey bars, or I can't do the double backflip in gymnastics. And I always say, yet. You're learning. Everybody's still learning. Nobody knows, right? Nobody knows everything. We're all still learning. I'm learning every day. I watch videos and research things every single day of my life. I have been doing that for years. And this is what's created a lot of growth in me to be able to share my tarot and be able to do things with you guys and everything else. I just want you, does this making any sense? I want you to be able to get in another mind frame. It is so freaking important to understand your own programming. Why do you feel like you can't afford something? Why? Because your bank account has $12 in it? Okay. Well, do you see what I'm saying? We can start moving that around. Yeah, we can, because as your worth rises, so do your finances, so do your emotions. And I'm telling you right now, these two, and I said in the very beginning, these two marry together, right? We don't need to keep a limited mindset anymore. No, because things will start changing. Your horizon will change. You understand? So it's like if you're working the same job, you're like, I don't understand what you're talking about, because if I only make this amount of money and and I have this amount of bills, what are you talking about? Okay. Well, what I'm talking about is if you start considering yourself more worthy in all the things, right? You're changing the program, everything else, more opportunities will start heading towards you. Not get rich schemes and all this stuff. Better job opportunities. You'll start your brain and your eyes will start getting bigger and wider for new opportunities. Wait a minute. I've been working this job for 12 years and I've only gotten like, I don't know, a couple of bonuses and I've only gotten this. Well, I mean, I deserve way more than that. And I mean, and then your brain will start new opportunities will just start kind of flooding into you. It's wild how it works. Because when you start to know that you deserve it, the universe will serve it. Okay? That is exactly how this works. You again, you have to believe it to see it, not the other way around, and know that believe that it's here and the universe will, I mean, again, it will be it's limitless. You're not limited by anything. And that's what the main part about this entire reading that I've been all over the place with, because I have a lot to say and I've been kind of storing this all in my mind. And I talk a lot to a lot of people about these types of things. But one of the main things about it is changing that whole process. You get to do it. You don't have it yet, that's fine. But then now we have to change it, right? Because now she knows how to do a double backflip and she knows how to do this. And now when when she has a bad day, she understands that it's a limited amount of time instead of it's going to last for 6 months. Because the other thing about this whole thing is that your brain, when you relive an event in relationships, jobs, whatever, your brain doesn't know the difference between it actually happening and you just remembering it. It doesn't know it. So you have the same cortisol responses, you have the same anxiety, the same depression, and everything else, and that keeps people in this freaking loop. So what we need to do is we need to start separating these things. And I know I talk to a lot of people with a ton of trauma. I talk all over the world. And I'm telling you right now, this is the one thing that I think that could help a lot of people. And don't give up on yourself, okay? I'm not giving up on you. I want you to understand. And you're gonna fall, you're gonna slip, but don't fall for the okey doke when people are like, I mean, prime rib I mean, usually it's $100 and now it's 60. Hurry, yeah, okay, okay. That is a mindset. That is a lack mindset. Well, because I mean, oh yeah, or whatever it is. It could be cat. It doesn't matter what it is. When we change that whole dynamic there, it can change our whole dynamic there, right? It can change our whole world, and it does. I'm living proof of it. So are a lot of people that I hang out with, right? This is what I'm talking about because I mean, everybody. Well, I mean, if I save and if I just save and I just do this, and what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? This is what I'm talking about, right? Because I have a friend like that. Well, I mean, I really want this thing, but I mean, if I just have to save for like 6 months, I've already written it all out. The fuck? No, you don't. No, you don't. Change that mindset of having to feel like you have to struggle to do it. And if I only have to eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for a year to be able to afford this car. Nope. You can change this mindset, and I'm telling you, it is not easy to do because it's hard to rewind programming, and you're not really rewinding it. You're just putting a stop to it, right? And that takes a lot of being conscious of it. And it's going to feel weird to you. It's going to feel weird. It felt weird to me. It's going to be like, no, no, because I've always lived like that, right? And then you're listening to the radio or listening to the thing. Can you not afford your roof? Right? It's it's so ingrained in the society. This is what I'm asking you to kind of jump out of the box here, okay? Mm. At least reverse mortgage. Are you old and you can't afford your groceries? Call now. There's a representative 24. You see what I'm saying? It's like I don't want you to be this person, or if you are this person, I certainly don't. You see what I'm saying? Anyway, I wanted to have this quick little talk. I'll be a little bit more organized next time. I just like to come from the heart and just spit out what I know. And it can be kind of a jumbled mess, but I hope you got some of this message here because I really feel like it can make a big difference in a lot of people's lives financially, which in turn is going to be an emotional result. Right? Because everybody's like, and again, money is just an energy. Yes, it is. And you have to get on the frequency of it, just like you have to get on the frequency of love and passion and healthy things, right? You have to get on the frequency of those things. Money is no different. Mm-mm. And stop being in lack mindset. And I know that's easier said than done because of the way you were raised and because of the way people that are still around you. Again, I have very, very small conversations with people now about that. You bought what? I mean, my God, how irresponsible are you? Oh my God, you did what? Yeah. It- that's how it is all the time. That's how it is all the time with a lot of these people because they live in a limited lack mindset. This is what I'm talking about. We can change that, and it will change the rest of your life. It absolutely will. Pick out the paint colors. That's what I've heard. Yeah, pick out the paint colors for the house. What color paint needs to be on the walls? I mean, well, like, and don't say you can't afford anything. It doesn't matter if you don't have the house or whatever the hell you want, car, whatever. Just start acting. I mean, go start buying little accessories for whatever that you want. Right? This is how this works. That's all I got. That's all I got. The 200. That's all I got him. That's all I got. I built this. I mean, it's all I got. I mean, okay, the boat, right? I'm still remodeling it because I'm in the middle of remodeling it, but I'm in the YouTube, personal readings, all the things. And then I have the truck house too. Okay. The truck house is a whole nother thing that I'm building. And it's basically a camper that slides in the back of my truck. It's got a wood stove, couch, bed, TV, king size bed, TV, a full kitchen, everything. It just slides in and out of my truck. And I'm going to be traveling with tarot with that. So I've been working on that. A few people know about that. It's solar. I can go off grid forever. But you see what I'm saying? This is what I'm talking about. I already had that in my head of what I was going to do, and I built it with my own hands. It's completely shelled in. I just got to do all the interior work now. That's where I'm at with it. Well, this is what I'm talking about. I have a thought, okay, and I implement that thought into there's no lack going on anywhere, okay, and then now I'm going to execute that with what I know how to do. Now you can say, well, I don't know how to build anything. You don't have to. I sure is nice to be able just to hire everything that I need done. Boy, I love that. I mean, it makes it so much easier for me to be able just to call somebody and come fix something without me having to worry about it. God, I love doing that. And now you have to tie an emotion to that. You can't say things like that like you're reading a bedtime story. No, you have to tie an emotion to that. It has to be like a chill. You know when you listen to your favorite song and you get chills? You have to have that emotion. You have to tie an emotion to the thought to be able to. That's the frequency the universe listens to. You understand? Because I want to win the lottery. Yay me. I've already won the lottery. Yay. No. It has to be an emotion. It has to be visceral. It has to be this intensity, right? You're like, I am so happy I have that damn boat. It's so exciting. And these people are going to spend Kool-Aid on the thing, Kool-Aid on my carpet in the boat, and I'm going to have to get a carpet. Like I told you, I already got a carpet cleaner, or did I say that? I already had a carpet cleaner lined up before the boat was even here. I didn't know what the boat looked like. I already had all these things in place with it and celebrated it. Yep. I was so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, everybody's going to love my boat. I can't wait to take everybody out and go deep sea fishing because that's my favorite thing, or one of my favorite things. And I can't wait. Like again, and I'm remodeling it because I want to have the truck house on land, and then I want to be able to have the boat right there so I can do both and be able to go and my getting my boat to be solar as well. So all my appliances and everything in the boat will run. Okay. So this is what the kind of things that I'm talking about, and I'm trying to like share this so people can stop worrying, because worry and stress and anxiety are the biggest killers above all things. Okay, especially stress. It will take you down. Any of these fish, birds, animals, we're all a part of all of this little like collective here. Stress will kill something very, very quickly. Like he's stressing me out right now because I think he's going to break through the glass because he's being extremely loud, breaking a lot of things. But this is what I'm talking about. I'm trying here to relieve some of that and get you in a better headspace. Okay, I'm about to start doing tarot. I'll do Aries and a few other readings possibly tonight. But this is what I'm talking about. I needed to get this message out. I'm going to be doing more of them on love and money because it's the number 1 and 2 things that people care the most about, right? And health, but that kind of, you can affect your health with money and love. Oh, absolutely. The stress and then you have both. Like if you're in the financial shitter and then you have an emotional like chaos going on. Oh yeah, you can bet your ass you're going to have a health something going on. Oh, there's no doubt. And a lot of times people say depression is soul suppression. And a lot of times I agree with that. But a lot of times, again, it's just the programming. Because the programming, your higher self is fighting against that programming, trying to get you broken out of it. It's like trying to jailbreak you out of something to live a more spiritual, or at least just even more connected to you way of life. And the whole society at large is designed to keep you in a very, very small box. So to recap this, you get to do it. You get to do things. Yeah. I'm about to go cook something. I get to do that. And I'm very thankful for it. Gratitude and being thankful is huge in this. Again, tie a thought to an emotion to get the frequency to be able to send it out. That's what the universe listens to. It's the only thing it does. God, universe, whatever you say. That's what I'm talking about. Okay? Never say you can't afford something again. and distance yourself a little bit. Not all the way. You don't have to drop these people, but distance yourself, or at least catch yourself when you're in the grocery store. Yeah. Well, eggs are $7. Walk right past them and go, gosh, wow. You know, glad I can afford that. This is what you need to be saying. I'm not saying you're going to be judging people. You're observing, right? This is what this is. You're like, wow, that's how they think, and but I am getting into a better space as far as programming is concerned, to where that these type things don't affect me anymore. Basically, what you're doing is you're getting in an alignment with what you allow into your brain, and you're becoming hyper aware of what is coming in, right? So you can be hyper aware of what is going out, which means what is coming to come back. That's what this is. If you're in lack mindset, you're going to stay poor, broke, sick. I mean, in emotional turmoil, all of it. But if you're over here and you start kind of breaking away, it's like a bad breakup, right? You're like, oh, and it's hard to do. This is not easy stuff. That's why I keep saying don't give up on yourself. When you finally break up, do the first initial like jarring of, wait a second, that's difficult, because your ego and your mind wants to run back to the safety that you've always lived for 30, 40, 80, whatever years. That can all change, and it can change quick. But then when you get over here, it kind of gets a little lonely. You're in a new place, everything else, but you have new paint colors in a boat. So I mean, come on. Anyway, collective, I'm going to be doing more of these. Let me know if you like this kind of thing, because I can talk a lot about it, especially on the emotional side. I'll be doing one of those shortly. But anyway, I'll see you next time, or I'll see you in all my tarot. But I wanted to get this out before New Year's, and we only have about 20 minutes left. So happy New Year. I'll talk to you soon.